that we may be in our shelters or safe places for an extended period of time. We're going to bounce back, right? This is going to get out of here. There is an end in sight to this. It'll get out of here, especially as we get into later on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we'll start the recovery process. In Jamaica, always bounces back. There's been significant, huge storms in the past. Charlie, Gilbert, Ivan. We had some severe impacts from Beryl last year. Jamaica always bounces back. But with that, this could be one of the strongest, if not the biggest, to move in an extreme wind zone. The problem here is, unlike some of the other storms, this one is slower. So not only do we have the extremes, they last for a long period of time. That means greater damage to structures, and that's why I've been mentioning those safer places best we can. On top of that, because it is a slow mover, we have the rain and huge rain. Eastern sections of Jamaica, that's where they'll be worse. This is a 4-day rain total. This really takes us through the rest of today into Monday and a Tuesday. I'll show you a slightly longer term in just a second. And then I mentioned Port Jacmel, especially swinging toward the west in the peninsula of Haiti.
This recipe is really cool if you have problems balancing your blood sugar or insulin. So this can help enhance your insulin sensitivity and provide fiber and omega. Seriously, it drives me crazy that people have all these powerful natural medicines in their house and they don't know how to use them. Today, I want to show you my favorite herbs that you probably have in your kitchen right now. I'm Shannon Greif, and I've been helping people heal with herbs for 20 years. I'm going to make quick, so please take notes. Ceylon cinnamon. Stir 1/2 tablespoon into morning oatmeal or coffee to help lower blood pressure and cholesterol. Raw honey. Take 1 tablespoon straight or drizzle over toast to soothe inflammation and fight germs. Raw garlic, 1 clove. Let it sit for 10 minutes, then swallow with water to support heart health and cut bad LDL. Ginger, grate 1 inch into hot water for a quick anti-nausea, arthritis-easing tea that also boosts energy. Apple cider vinegar. Mix 1 tablespoon in a glass of water before meals to steady blood sugar and aid heart health. Turmeric and black pepper. Whisk 1 tablespoon of turmeric and a pinch of pepper into warm milk for a nightly anti-inflammatory golden latte. Peppermint. Sip a cup of peppermint tea after meals to calm IBS, headaches, or migraine tension. Thyme steam. Boil a handful of thyme in water. Inhale the vapor for 5 minutes to ease cough congestion. Rosemary. Steep 1 tablespoon of rosemary in olive oil for a week. Massage a few drops into scalp for hair growth or sniff focus and relaxation. Imagine having a guide to all these remedies at your fingertips. Introducing the Natural Healing Handbook. Simple recipes and remedies for every condition. Organized by health condition. Quick solutions for memory, heart, pain, sleep, digestion, immune support, and more. Packed with full color images and step-by-step instructions. Reveals little-known herbal synergies like how black pepper boosts turmeric by 2,000%, or that crushed garlic needs 15 minutes to reach full power. No long internet searches, questionable info, or expensive supplements. Just effective remedies you already have at home. Click the link below, get your copy now, and transform life with the Natural Healing Handbook. Congratulations on taking responsibility and empowering yourself with natural healing. A year from now, you'll look back and wonder what you did before these remedies. Click below. I'll see you inside.
Come the roses.
This is a hot spot. 숨쉬는 눈이 밥상. 뜬골이 된 unfollow. 잠을 수 없는 말. 우린 in the kitchen. What you craving? 나의 맛대로 사sen. In other words, come back. You don't need to think too much. 씹고 뜯고만 보고 즐기다 가면 돼. 깊게 웃으면 들어. In your mouth, you tip but I'll never kill a bad shopper. Like spaghetti, 빼고 싶은 appetite. 그냥 먹게 어차피 이래 머리 속인 서랍템 addition between your teeth. 그냥 어차피 이래 Eat it up. Yeah, this is a hot spot. Don't give a fuck, come on, 저만 지져 필요 더 breeze
In this sector here, just over 4 days, 500 to 750 millimeters of rain. That is catastrophic flooding. Where that rain falls, that means significant mudslides, extremely dangerous rivers. They will break records as far as how high they are. That's 20 to 30 inches of rain in this shading here. And of course, elsewhere around it, the totals are going to be so very high as well. Even as we get into western sections of Jamaica, we're still looking at, just for a few days, we're looking at 50 to 100 millimeters of rain. But it's going to be more than that, especially if it takes a track a little bit more right in central sections. And again, we're going to tack on even more rain Tuesday and potentially into Wednesday as well. So as we work our way into our eastern zones, it's not going to be quite, or western zones, it's not going to be quite as high, but we're going to intense flooding in some areas. So these are catastrophic levels of flooding. Again, central and extreme eastern sections of Jamaica, upwards of 700 millimeters of rain. And we're doing that again, extreme western areas of Haiti. Now we lift to the north, we'll get significant rain eastern end of Cuba once this moves in. However, eventually, once this gets past Jamaica, it will start to pick up forward speed. That'll be a good thing. That is a good thing for the Bahamas. That is a good thing for the Turks and Caicos, even if it moves in and right overhead, which like it will eventually in the southeastern Bahamas and near the Turks and Caicos. At least at that point, it will be going faster to kind of help with the impacts. Get them in, get them out, and have less rain totals. Now this map's a little bit hard to see. I look at so much behind the scenes, I don't always show it, but I want to show you everything I have. Now what you can do in this video, I know this map's a little bit difficult, but where you see the blue, that's where inland flooding is very likely. So fortunately this is on YouTube. It could pause right now on video and kind of take a look and maybe zoom in as well and see if you live near one of these areas. Black River, for example, here's a good sampling where we'll get that inland flooding lifting all the way into some central locations. So you can put a pause on that if you need to, so you know if you are in a zone that simply is going to take on water. Now we're talking about the storm surge here. Speaking of water, it's not just the water falling out of the sky, it's the abnormal surge in the abnormal kind of height, if you will, of the ocean. As a hurricane moves in, there's a lift to the water. So the ocean's going to be higher, I'll put it that way, which is not a good thing. Most deaths actually happen from a hurricane, from flooding, in particular from the storm surge, and we're going to see that across much of our southern coast, all the way back to Black River. I was hoping it wouldn't be quite this far, but it looks like this may come in over our central sections. So in this area, at least 2 to 3 meters. I'll zoom down in a second. North coast, as we swing toward Montego Bay, we're up to about a meter potentially of a storm surge. And as you get toward our northeastern sections, we're looking at about 1 to 1.5 meters. Same thing once you get off toward, say you get toward Westmoreland, back toward a grill, 1 to about 1.5 meters as far as kind of a lift and some additional flooding along the coast. But these are some of the areas of very high concern. Depending on how strong this gets in the exact track, these numbers could be a little bit low. So we're looking at 2 to 3 meters in through here. We get back through King. That means, of course, the highway right through here that crosses the water that many are familiar with. That would basically be underwater, and then that water would just kind of filter in with that rise in the ocean, and then we swing all the way back toward Hunter's Village, where you see these brighter colors. In this scenario, these are the areas that would be underwater, right? So we're looking 2 to 3 meters of that surge. You have the waves on top of it. That's 6 to 10 feet. But again, it may be higher than that as far as the surge, especially in and around Kingston. So that surge could be very significant. We swing into our western zones, mentioned up to a meter as you get over toward Negril. With the winds around the hurricane, they are counterclockwise, so we get that big push over toward Jamaica. But on the flip side, they're coming down from this almost offshore over toward Westmoreland. So that does help. There'll still be a rise, but we're looking at about 3 to 5 feet, 1 to 1.5 meters as we're a little bit closer to Black River, and then less as we work our way off toward the west. So what we're doing now, again, full action. Everything you got, everything you could do to prepare for this storm. We are doing that in Jamaica. We've already done that as we've worked our way towards southern sections of Haiti. Of course, we're monitoring the flooding elsewhere. When we are making those preparations now, eastern Cuba, I've been watching the comments. You've been doing a great job getting the information out to friends, family in Cuba. It's not all of Cuba. Eastern zones. That's where this will go. I don't see any scenario bring this back towards Central America, bring this toward the Cayman Islands or Florida, northern Bahamas. I don't see a scenario this moves in. We're going to keep a very close eye on the central Bahamas, in particular southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. But at this point in these locations here, we're doing what we can to protect life and property as we go forward. Now, southeastern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, we're in monitor mode. We're reviewing. It's not that we're not doing anything. We're reviewing the hurricane plans, kind of starting to ramp up, starting to get ready. There's going to be something right in through here, maybe a little bit more here, maybe a little bit more over here. That's what I'll fine tune over the next 2 days. And again, watching Bermuda as we go forward. All of the computer models bring this right into Jamaica. Even the American model, even some of these crazy models that have been out to lunch, everything has converged right onto Jamaica, then into eastern Cuba, and then as we go out in time, we'll see how close eventually this gets to Bermuda as we go well out in time, but we'll be fine-tuning that over the next few days. But it is that black line. Looks like this is going to come on shore. The problem is there's a lot of problems, obviously, but it's going to stay offshore for a couple days. That just feeds over the warm water. That's why it should intensify. It's going to have a big eye. It's going to rapidly intensify. We're going to that over the next day or two, then it's way into Jamaica, eastern Cuba, and then you see the track here is Bermuda right here. Atlantic region of Canada, as of now, not seeing a scenario that this would move in. Same thing along the east coast of the United States. There's other systems that will be pushing by. So the strength only continues to strengthen. Most like Category 3, Category 4. The potential is there for this to become a Category 5 because the water temperatures aren't just warm. It's that heat content. I talked about this in May and June on this. That is always my biggest concern in hurricane season, where those hot pockets in the water are. It's not just hot at the surface, it is hot down below, or at least warm. And as this just sits on top of it, it just churns up more of that warm water. That's the kind of absorbed energy that the system can kind of feed off of and get a whole lot stronger. So here's the European model, which has done a good job with this system, at least over the last couple of days. You can see it here. Here's Jamaica right here, and you can see the flow back behind it, still that very heavy rain, parts of the DR, and of course into Haiti. High pressure is a temporary blocker right here, little area of high pressure. That's why it's not moving. There's a blocker. It can't kind of lift to the north. It is this system here in the southeast U.S. that will eventually help steer this thing and make its turn. That's why it's going to turn, and then another system will really take it out into the Atlantic. But this here is by Monday, so that was tomorrow. This here is by Monday, still sitting basically very close to Jamaica. I showed you this in those earlier maps, how close this would just kind of be for a day or two, and then it eventually works in. Monday night into Tuesday, it is on top of us.
Oh yeah, I got to be beside of me. Make everything work out so right. You just have to trust him, and you can never have no doubt. The same one who said that I could never get the chance to take her out.